YouTube, how the hell are you guys doing today? It's Wicked here, and I am super excited to bring you this video. Now, what the topic on question is today is the fact of Quake Champions. Let me just say how excited I am, and I don't know, I'm just so mind blown that finally we're going to be getting another Quake game. I've been waiting for another Quake game for so long. Quake 3 Arena just surpassed its 20-year anniversary. That just astounds me on how fast time has flown by, because I remember back in the day playing Quake 3 Arena with my uncle online and just totally just wrecking everybody. Now, unfortunately, I never was able to do LAN events because gaming was still just considered a hobby. Like, trying to make money and going to tournaments and stuff like that was considered like a hobby, you know, it was just not there. There was no such thing as making money with gaming till someone by the name of Jonathan Fatality Windle kind of broke that role, and he showed, and he's like, look, because his dad says the same thing. He saved up the money and went to a Dallas LAN event, won I think 3rd place if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, went home, slapped a $5,000 check in front of his dad and said, check that out. And his dad just said, wow. Now see, in my opinion, Fatality was one of the founding fathers of competitive gaming. He won the $100,000 championship with Quake 4, so that just goes to show you. But aside from that, the reason why I'm so excited is, like I said, Quake 3 Arena is by far my #1 favorite game of all time, even to this day. And I'm really hoping, and according to the developers, that, you know, this game is going to be just like the arena style gameplay was back in Quake 3 Arena, because they wanted to keep that because that's what Quake is known for. In my opinion, I kind of think, after watching the video and after hearing what the developer has said about it, I don't think that's really going to be the case. I really think that this game is going to be kind of like an Overwatch game. And I've not been able to play Overwatch, but I'm going to be able to play it here soon. And I plan on playing it because if that's the road that Quake is going to take, I think I need to get as much practice with it as possible, especially if I want to start going to LAN events for Quake Championships. And that's exactly my goal, is that's what I want to do. And I think it'd be kind of like sort of a fate thing if you really think about it, because my favorite game of all time has been Quake, and if my breakout professional gaming career started off with Quake Champions, I would be even happier, because it'd be sort of like a fate sort of thing. Now, aside from that, like, I guess there's 4 classes, so pretty much similar to Overwatch in Quake Champions. Like, you're gonna have the healer, you're going to have the tank, you're going to have the DPS guy. So, yeah, that's just what it's going to be. I think it's more geared towards like an Overwatch style gameplay. So, of course, we first have the first guy coming up. His name is Ranger. And everyone, if you're familiar with Quake, will know that Ranger was the original guy back in the first Quake. I mean, he is also known as the Quake guy because that's who he was. And his ability, you know, he's just like a kind of run through, just go through and just totally just destroy things, right? And his ability is called Dire Orb, which, if you know from the original Quake game, Quake 1, in order to defeat the final boss at the end of the game, you had to teleport into the Dire Orb to kill the boss. So that's what his ability is. Now, the next character that we got was Visor, and Visor was one of the characters that was introduced back in 1999 with Quake 3 Arena. And his appearance, of course, his visor is the ability of piercing sight, which allows him to see the enemies through the walls and barriers and stuff like that. So he'd be able to be kind of like the scope of the field. He'd be able to use his ability to let your team know where each position player is and what have you. Character appearing in the Quake Champions is the Neox. And this class is going to be more towards, she's a faster pace, and she can phase to locations, which makes her become invulnerable for a short time. So with her, I'm kind of interested in her class, and I want to play with all of them, of course, whenever the game does drop. But I'm kind of interested in this class. You know, she's kind of more of the standoffish class. So, you know, I'm more of like the in your face, but I do play support on Call of Duty, so I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I would end up playing on Quake Champions, is this kind of a support role. What she does is you kind of like stay out of the combat area, and you kind of go around the battlefield, stay on the outsides, you phase to an area, pick someone off with like a railgun or a machine gun or something, and then get out of there as soon as possible. You know, just to kind of get that early pick so you can have something up going for your team. Then we also have another new character. His name is Scalebearer, sorry, and he is basically the tank class. He's the one that would go in there and just rush and just destroy everything in his path, and that's his ability. Is called Bull Rush. So you kind of don't want to be in his way if he uses the Bull Rush, because I'm guessing that there's probably nothing you can much do whenever a player starts using the Bull Rush. And yeah, it's pretty much, he is going to be the one you just stand behind and just let him take all the damage while you try and just take picks from the other sides of the map or some other areas and whatnot. So a lot of other things too is a lot of people were wondering if Quake Champions was going to be available for consoles, and they confirmed that that is not going to happen. And the reason for that is because they wanted to have the highest frame rate possible, because with the old school Quake Live, they did 30 to 60, and that was huge, and that was just the free online Quake 3 Arena gameplay. But they made it from 30 to 60, but now they're going up to 120 and above that. And they say you can't really tell the difference, but the pros can, and they can't afford to lose the pros. And I kind of agree with them, because they need the pros, and let's just face it, that's just how it is. But if you guys liked this video and you were excited about his Quake Champions as much as me, leave a comment, leave a like. Be sure to subscribe for more Quake Champions content, as well as Black Ops 3 and other first-person shooters. YouTube, I'll talk to you later.